Okay, we are live. Let's see here. People are joining as we speak, and that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm going to get straight to the point just in a few seconds. I'm just going to get my glasses, and so that I can see what you are writing in the chat there. And let's just give it a few seconds so that people can join. This is not going to be the most cheerful or funny live stream. I'm afraid. Nothing personal, but it's time that we get off our behinds and do something, you know. And don't get me wrong here, but I'm talking about preparedness, and yeah, I'll get into all of this, but things are speeding up now, so the time for talking. Well, I shouldn't say the time for talking is over. Now it's time for action. No, because we must use our voice. So uh, it's not like we should stop talking, but we need to do something. Okay, if you haven't already, it's time that you make a choice, and I will get into that. So, okay, 117 people have joined. Bushcrafty Steve, good to see you. I'm a big fan of your channel, and if you want to see some proper bushcraft videos, that's where you go. Bushcraft is Steve there. Okay, let's get into the topic here. You have to make a choice now, and I'm talking about actually today. And if you can't make that choice today, make that choice tomorrow. Many of you have made that choice already. And what am I talking about here? I'm talking about the choice between how you're going to live your life. Because what we have been used to is not going to be our life in the future now. We are either going to live with much less freedom, a lot more control, and a lot less resources, or we're going to opt out of all that, create a parallel society. And I've talked about that many times on my main channel, especially. And I've been ridiculed, like hundreds of messages and comments have been ridiculing me for saying that. Well, are those people laughing now? Well, I guess some people are so proud that they will never admit that they were wrong. But I'm talking about a lifestyle where you will be your own master. And to do that, you need to opt out of the grid. You need to get out off the grid. So the first thing you need to do, in my opinion, is to get rid of your smartphone. And this is a very unpopular opinion to have. But you need to understand, that when you have a smartphone, everything you do is being registered. And no, that's not a conspiracy theory. It's being registered, and those data, they're not thrown away. Okay. So you might say, I have nothing to hide and all that. Well, Well, first of all, most people do have something to hide. I worked as a therapist, and I discovered that most people have a lot to hide, actually. And also, you don't know what will be viewed as problematic in the future and the near future. So that's one thing. And you have to get off the electric grid as well. So you have the information grid, which I think that we shouldn't get off the information grid, but we should be able to go in, like I do when I log onto my computer. I go in there and I gather information, or I do, like this, or I upload a video, or and then I go out. But anyway, the grid will be used to make you a slave to the system. And it sounds very dramatic when I put it that way, but I don't know how to reach people with this message, because it's not a popular message. But I have to try. But I have tried, actually, to tell myself, well, you shouldn't care about people. You shouldn't care. Why would you? Why would it matter? And then I the answer came to me. Well, it does matter, and that's actually not because I care so much about people. I'm being completely honest with you guys. I don't. But I care about what kind of society my kids are going to face and going to function in the future. So that's the main reason why I care about this. And I've said before that, I could just log off and be gone forever. And there will be trolls and haters saying that, well, you couldn't live in the wilderness. No, you couldn't bug out. You shouldn't bug out. Well, watch me. um, well, actually, you wouldn't watch me, because then I would be gone. But anyway, so the choice that you have to make here is, are you going to get off the grid and live an independent lifestyle? Or are you just going to follow the mainstream and be part of whatever comes down the line? We know a few things about what to look forward to. I believe that the electricity, or the power, the gas and power, no, energy, sorry. I am Norwegian, so you'll have to be patient with me. Energy, energy is going to be scarce or be made scarce. And that's what we are seeing now, and that's going to make the cost of living, obviously, much, much higher. So I don't want to repeat myself. Then we have inflation, because we have idiots in positions of power printing money, not understanding how to run a business even, and that's how they run. They run a country without knowing how economy works, and that's what I think, because they put their feelings and emotions and their ideology in front of everything else, if you know what I mean. So instead of actually running the country in a proper way, they will use their ideology as a guideline, and that always ends in misery. And that's what we are seeing now. So people will fall in line, and they did during the whole plague. um, and I think that certain people in positions of power, they know that well, people did fall in line, and they did what they were told. They will do that again. You know, Yeah, so food is going to be. We're going to not. I'm not. I am not going to be a part of it. By the way, big, big surprise. um, but most people, most people already believe that meat, red meat, and so on is unhealthy. They will go to the store, grocery store, and buy processed food uh, with chemicals and stuff in it that they don't even know what is, and that's fine. They will eat that. They will eat soy burgers, and they will eat whatever. Um, and but they will point at someone like me who eats a lot of meat and say that it's unhealthy. Well, I'm 50, and I don't feel like 50. Uh, the first workout after I turned 50 was a very good workout, and I'm at my strongest now. Haven't been this strong in many years, actually. Not since, well, yeah, around the time when I've last competed in the Worlds. So that's mm, about 10 years ago now. No, 8 years. Well, yeah, doesn't matter. But so people are going to have to eat different food in the future. And I think that we're going to see a decline in health that will be dramatic, and especially a decline in mental health, because we do know a few things about people who don't eat meat at all. Um, they are much more prone to depression, amongst other things. So we're going to see even more of that. Um, More censorship. I hope you all are looking forward to that. Um, what is true is going to be decided from above. Okay, so it doesn't really matter um, who is in power, because we will have a system where truth is being dictated. Okay, and yeah, so a lot of stuff to look forward to. Um, and I also think that, and I'm just repeating what I have said before and what other people have said before, but I'll make it brief. Ownership will be more or less a thing of the past. I saw now that they just started now with a new sort of ownership. I'm doing this with my fingers again. Here in Norway, where I think the deal is you share ownership with either the bank or um, the corporation that owns the flat that you're buying. So you buy 50% of the flat. And I guess that at some point in the future, you're supposed to maybe buy the second half. But what that's going to do is you're going to be paying on that mortgage and paying rent for the rest of your life, and you're not going to own anything. That's the arrangement there, the way I see it. Car ownership going away. I don't see any ads for petrol cars anymore. All I can see are ads for electric cars, and it baffles me that people can't see that when you have an electric car, it's dependent on the grid. Okay, it's difficult to store electricity. Well, you could buy a lot of batteries, but I'm not an electrician, but it's much easier to store petrol or diesel. So you could store a lot of petrol or diesel, and then you would have a means of getting away or getting to another place in an emergency, for instance. But anyway, um, it's a bit of a rant, this, and I, I'm in a way I'm glad that I'm not in the USA right now, and I'm glad that I'm not in continental Europe. Norway is outside the EU, so things are it's more difficult for these people to make these changes here, but it's coming. It certainly is coming. But we're a little bit behind. Um, and while all of this is happening, you have politicians in the USA poking the angry Chinese panda. Now, don't get me wrong, I despise the Communist Party in China, and all that they stand for. I believe Taiwan is a separate country. It's not a part of China. And this little guy with the feminine sort of it looks like an old aunt, the the head, the leader of the Communist Party over there, little dictator in China. He's an awful human being. He should be ridiculed, and that's my opinion. But can you politicians over in the USA please stop trying to provoke China to start a world war? Please stop that, because if that happens now, well, it will all fall in line, and the whole picture will be complete, right? So, I look everywhere, John. That's my job. I look everywhere. So, I think it's quite obvious that I'm going to be deleting comments now, and put people in timeout if you come here with the Jesus thing. This is not the place for that, okay? And you can hate me for that. I don't care. You can unsubscribe. I really don't care. Just leave me in peace. This is not the place for that. So, and that's all I'm going to say about it. If I see it, you're going to be thrown out. So, the Belt and Road Initiative. Do you know what that is? Now, if you look at Russia, China, even India, but also Afghanistan and Turkey, and that part of the world, it's a rather big area, right? So, what if you increase the infrastructure there and made it more effective? Yeah. Here we are again. Are there any moderators? I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, if you look at that part of the world, we know about the Belt and Road Initiative, and I've talked about that on my main channel in a video there where I interviewed a Uyghur woman, a young woman from that area in China, and they are being treated like second-class citizens by the Chinese authorities there. So that's and they labor camps and imprisonment, torture, and killings and all that. But she told me about the Belt and Road Initiative, and if you look into that, it's quite easy to see that for quite some time now, the people, well, the authorities in the countries that I just mentioned, they have been working on the infrastructure in that region. When I say region, I mean it's a major part of the world. It's going to do something to the balance. So The USA will no longer be a superpower. I don't believe that's going to be. I believe in the future, near future, the USA is not going to be a superpower. Um, and maybe what we are seeing now is that shift. Maybe that's what we are seeing. These countries that I just mentioned, they do not really have a functioning democracy, except maybe India to some degree. And they will be quite dominant. So here's another reason to get off the grid, to craft a life where you will be able to be more independent, not to not be dependent on electricity. You can create your own electricity, small wind generators, solar power, a wood burning oven. It's That's the way to move forward here. So when we are moving from this place, which we will in the future, probably near future, we will probably move off the grid. Not talking about a little shed in the forest, well, probably in the forest, but we will have all the luxuries we need. Why wouldn't we? You can have that now without being part of the grid. And I I really can't understand why people don't at least aim for that. But no, people will just sit their asses down in their sofa and watch some reality TV and eat crap, and they will go on social media and be like angry man, an old man shouting at cloud, and be angry and blow off some steam at people like me, for instance, and then they go on with their lives. They are not really in control of their lives, are they? And they will vote new people into positions of power, people just as corrupt as the ones they replaced. And yeah. And yeah, by the way, you will be expected to work yourself to death, because you will have to. There won't be enough money to go around. I know people are saying that, well, there won't be enough work to go around. That's true, but if you now have a job and you will not be replaced by automation, expect to work yourself to death, or that will be expected of you. And we're seeing this already, and they are increasing the age for when you're supposed to be retired, and and have the state pay for you, pay back some of the all the those money you paid in taxes up through your working years. But sorry, you're going to have to work for until you're quite old now, and they're going to increase that age. And what they are saying is that, well, people are getting older. They are getting older, and that's a problem. And but they are healthier as well. Yeah, sure. No. If you look around, people are not really healthy, are they? They are miserable. Many people are miserable. And I believe more people are miserable now than before. And most people don't have the money to go off grid. Well, maybe. Depends on where you live, where you're willing to move to. Uh, I think we got a comment here. It's always possible to go off grid. Um, so you can move to another country. You can, let's see here. You can do like kycklingklubba, pay my debt, then I plan to save and buy land off grid. My plan is to move in the forest somewhere. Um, You will probably find places that are cheap in your country, but they are not in popular areas. So living in a city, paying rent, is probably more expensive than buying a piece of land off grid in an unpopular area. Now, I'm going to have a look here at thanks a lot, Clint East Wooden Doors. Thanks a lot for saying that. I'm going to have a look, and there are still people donating some super chats, which is nice. I'm seeing a decline in the super chats, which I understand. People are trying to save money. So, yeah, I do understand that, but it's nice when it happens. Three severed heads saying off-grid means not relying on money. Learn skills to live off nature. That's more important. I absolutely agree. Simon's Diamond Soul says you are right about getting out of the grid, but I think skills like hunting and fishing and crafting do help too. Things I should learn if I want to survive in the future. Yes, absolutely. I absolutely agree. Now, a lot of people will say there won't be enough game in the forests if everyone went off grid. That may be true, but I think we all understand that that kind of lifestyle is not for everyone. Most people, they will just fall in line. They will sit their asses down in that sofa and watch reality TV. That's what they will do, you know. So I'm not so worried about that. Matthias Treeman is here. He's the wonderful man who started the Hidden Hangouts, which is slowly spreading across this platform, across YouTube. And Norseman Redbeard is here. And Denmark Bear is here. Imagine 80 million Germans in the woods. Yeah, but out of those 80 million, if I say 8,000 going off grid, I have no idea how many it would be, but you know, we won't have, only a small minority. I did like this small minority. Funny story, and I'll tell you how things work here on YouTube. When you're a YouTube creator, now I'm not a Christian. I'm not going to make a point out of that, but I made a thumbnail. Not going to make a point out of that in this live stream, but I made a thumbnail on the video on Friday on the main channel. It was a bit of I have a playlist called comedies, and it's on that playlist, and silly comments you get on YouTube. So one of them is, well, you're not in the woods, you're using a green screen. So I positioned myself behind a branch to show that I'm actually in the woods. And it seemed to have covered my right eye, and someone wrote that he or she, probably he didn't trust people using that kind of symbolism. So apparently I'm a Satanist now, because I was covering my right eye behind a branch in the woods. So yes, it's the Satanist, the horrible Satanist from Norway speaking here. Some days I don't even know what to say. Um, yeah, it was funny. And the ironic part is that it was a comment on a video about silly comments. Yeah, so it's good that we can laugh. But anyway, I think that on one hand we must realize that things are speeding up now. Um, it and it's difficult to talk about. I think it's difficult to talk about because on one hand you see that sorry, redneck heathen. Thanks a lot. Just to clarify, the Satan thing, heathens and pagans are not into the Satan thing. That's the Christian mythology thing there. But yeah, it's a bit of fun. But anyway, um, thanks a lot for the donation. If I didn't say so already, things are moving fast now, and I don't want anyone to make some rushed decisions, but I really do think that you have to make a choice. Either you get off the grid, at least to some extent, or you will have to tolerate a lot of crap in the future. So, um, I hate those people here on YouTube who, no, I don't hate the people, but I hate when they sit like like I do now, and they say that the world is going to end. SHTF is coming tomorrow or next week at least. Do you have all your guns and go to the link and buy the food and stuff, and then you will survive, or if not, you will not survive the SHTF, the zombie apocalypse and all that. So I don't like that so much. But on the other hand, we must face what's coming now. Um, because it is. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? Now, we have talked about how the environment is going to be used um, to implement all these changes rapidly. And it doesn't really matter if you believe that human activity is making climate change or not, or if it's doing that to some degree. It doesn't matter. What matters here, well, it does matter, but it doesn't matter what you think about that. What matters is that it is being used to implement these changes. So I'll give one example. Last time I checked, there is a lot more money in producing plant-based food than in meat. Yeah, last time I checked. So um, it's only logical that these big corporations, they would want to move away from meat production, raising livestock and so on, and moving into you know producing plant-based food. Now, the kind of meat production I support is where you have grazing animals. Now, if you um, there's a book, I think I have it here. Uh, no, sorry, maybe one of the kids they took it. Um, this is called. I have it here. Yeah, it's called Drawdown by Paul Hawken, And it proves that having grazing animals, like cows, is in fact beneficial to nature and the climate, binding of carbon in the soil, and so on and so on. So, but we don't want to hear that. No, no, no. We being certain people, not us. Rather push this narrative where not only is plant-based food better for the planet always at all times, but it's also healthier for you. Now, it's convenient, isn't it? That it's both healthy for you and better for the planet. How convenient. So, what if it isn't? Or what if it's actually not that simple? What if it's actually not that simple that it's better for the planet? What if? Now, I'm not claiming anything here. I'm not an expert on this. I'm not claiming anything, but what if, just for the sake of the argument here, what if it's better for the planet, but worse for you, for your health? Then what? Are we going to care about that or not? Now, I happen to know a little bit about nutrition. I've studied nutrition as a personal trainer, and I've been into nutrition my whole life. Well, my whole adult life as an athlete at a higher level. So I know a few things about nutrition, I would say. And I can't see that there is any scientific evidence behind the claims that a plant-based diet is better for your health. I really can't see it. And if you ask doctors worth their salt, as they're saying, they will not claim that going vegan is better for you. They might say that you can be healthy on a vegan diet. They might say that, and I won't try to say that that's wrong. But it's more like in spite of, I have to say that, in spite of the vegan diet, you can be healthy. Now, but anyway, I got a little bit off track there. But yeah, so the narrative is being crafted and presented to people, and they buy it. They buy it. Not only do they buy it, but they really despise those who don't fall in line. So actually, the term "fall in line" is very fitting here, because it is like when people form a line in front of I don't know, a popular cafe or something like that. And if people just go there and in front of the line, it's not popular. You have to follow the rules. You have to fall in line. So, but anyway, I should probably hide the Satan comment there. Not everyone can take a joke. Redneck Heathen says, well, thanks a lot for that awesome donation, by the way. Living off-grid is not only good for preparedness, but it is good for the heathen spirit if you're out on the land. Absolutely. And I would add to that, it's good for your health as well. Tara, thanks a lot for the donation. That's very kind of you. We have lots of people here. Okay, I'll have to I'll have to just scroll down here. Yeah, about the vegan diet, you can be healthy on it, but you'll have to supplement at least with vitamin B12 and some other and some minerals, and also, as you say here, sense by the 40. You have to be on top of it constantly. Yeah, absolutely. Finding sources of certain amino acids from plant-based diet is difficult to say the least. Now, you can get all the essential amino acids from a plant-based diet, um, but and then the body will manage to well, what the body does, simply put, it breaks them up and makes new amino acids. So it will make the non-essential acids out of the essential acids. So you're good, okay? But it's more taxing on the system. But there are other aspects to this, of course. um, yeah, animal fat is very important for a healthy brain. Some say that we are how we are as Homo sapiens, our species, now because our brain could develop because of our diet and so on. Yeah, it would be nice with a thumb up. Now, if you like the video, the live stream, sorry. If you don't like it, you can give it a thumb down. There is that as well. Sorry. Um, so let's see. Yeah. And my friend, I thought I'm. I thought. I thought I marked your comment. Now I did. I can't read. Is that the Cyrillic alphabet? I can't read it. I'm sorry. um, but yes, I will continue streaming. There will be a lot to discuss ahead. Absolutely. I am. I will be away for hikes now and then. But I will absolutely continue streaming. So Matthias Treeman, he always has some wise words. He says that, as someone just said, we are miserable because we are removed from nature, but we are nature. And while we can go and spend time in nature, it is so important. Absolutely. And Lawrence, well, thanks a lot for those kind words. And I have a same to you. Have a great day. um, so, Christopher, are you getting trolled by vegans? I'm sorry to hear that. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely respect that choice to go vegan out for ethical reasons. I absolutely respect that. And there is a farm. Well, it's not a farm like that, but it's an old farm. It's not far from where I live, and they are. It's a couple. They are vegans, and they save farm animals, neglected farm animals, and they are wonderful people. And what they are doing there is fantastic. So, you know, I'm. You won't see me making jokes about vegans. I will absolutely respect their choice. Um, so, Aidan Partridge says, if you connect with the land by foraging, you will feel less fear than now. Learn where the springs are in your area and really connect with your land around you. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'll scroll down here. Okay. Sorry, it just I'm fumbling a little bit to stop the chat and uh, pause the chat. I'm not pausing it like that, but I need to find the comment here. It moves up quite quickly. Coral says, I'm vegetarian, but have many vegan friends. We are all very healthy. That's awesome. Yeah, let's leave the vegan thing. It's one of those things that get people very emotional. So that's not what this live stream is about. Okay, here is Jenny Dahlberg from, I suppose, Sweden says that we have a new uprising from the Swedish farmers now. So, what is going on with the farmers? What's happening there? I mean, it's not being talked about in mainstream media much. There was a few articles about the farmers in the Netherlands, and it said that, well, they are protesting because they want to continue farming like they did, and being very you know um, environmentally unfriendly and all that. But I made a video on the main channel about Tri-State City, and I thought, it was sent to me by a friend in the Netherlands, and it's basically a huge infrastructure in that part of Europe, in that corner of Europe, the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, I think, an infrastructure being built there. And I thought, well, how convenient to get rid of the farmers first, you know? And Anders, now I was saying that the narrative is that the farmers are not environmental, and they are environmentally unfriendly, you know? And here's Matthias. That's exactly what I'm thinking, you know, and I'm just entertaining this theory. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but you know, let's just entertain this idea a little bit now. You know, this arrangement where the land is divided up amongst thousands, hundreds of thousands, or well, millions of people. Well, I shouldn't say thousands, well, millions, obviously, you know. If you take all the people who own some land in Europe, and this is not only happening in Europe, but let's look at Europe now. Okay, so this is not normal, you know. Since we became civilized, so to speak, I don't like that word. It's not normal, because it used to be like the king and the nobles, they owned all of the land, and the peasants, they didn't own the land. And now maybe I'm getting old, because now I forgot the word. What do you call that arrangement? You can help me. When yeah, sorry. In medieval times, you had the landowner, and he had his farmers working for him on the land. They didn't own the land. Feudalism, the feudal system, of course. So let's just entertain this idea, Are we going back to that? Because if you can't afford to continue as a farmer, you will have to sell, and who's going to buy it? Well, probably a richer farmer, and a richer farmer will be part of a larger system, or it will be a big corporation like Billy Boy. Yeah, feudalism. Yes. So maybe it's not so far-fetched to think that we could move back to such a system. Now, when I say feudalism, people envision dirty, starving people digging a ditch for some baron in his castle. It's not going to look like that. It will be very different, but the principles will still be there. You will not own anything. You won't own the land or your car or your house. You will just be renting. And to pay the rent for your electric car, your house, your flat, and even for your smartphone, I guess your computer, everything. You will have to work, and if there is no work for you, you will have to just fall in line and be a good, obedient boy or girl, or else you won't get that um, digital money that you depend on to buy or rent. Let's not get too far into that, but it's feudalism. It is feudalism. um, yeah, I'm describing present times, but not everyone is seeing this, okay? And we have this much of it now, and it's going to be a much, much, much more. It's going to be the standard. So that's why I'm talking about it, okay? So again, let's see here. It all boils down to this one principle: freedom. What is freedom? It's not so easy to define, is it? But you know it. You know what it is, or what it was when it's gone. Freedom. And I have found that people have not all people value freedom equally. Some people, they seem to be okay without freedom. I'll give you one example. Now, and the reason I know is that in close family, I have people working in the police, and some people, they prefer to be in jail, actually, because in jail they are fed. They're being told when to go to sleep, when to get up, and so on and so on. And they're not, well, they don't really have that much access to, the drugs and all that. I understand that they smuggle these things into the prisons, but it's better. So those people, they actually prefer a life without freedom. So, and then at the other end of the scale, I guess the extreme other end of the scale, I don't know, that would be some kind of tribal person in the deep Amazon jungle or something. if they are still, maybe that was not the best example, but well, I can, I myself, I and a lot of you guys, we need freedom, and we know what it is, and it's important to us. You can't put value on it. You can't. Well, I guess some people would sell their freedom and become serfs, not on a surfboard, but SERF. But I don't think. Well, I know that there isn't enough money in this world for me to give my freedom away. I would rather live under a tarp in the forest, which is something I call vacation and holiday. Anyway, but I would rather live like that than lose my freedom. Um, so, hmm. So let's see here what's going on here. Yes, Norseman Redbeard says freedom is the first thing taken for granted by people. They undervalue it and give it away. Yes, and there is this saying. I can't remember the exact words, but something along the lines of let's just take this fight now. And I truly believe that. Bring it on. I mean, just bring it on. Everything you got. These people. Now, I'm not afraid of any of these people. I'm not afraid of the Chinese army or the totalitarian, you know. I I I'm not afraid of them, and I much prefer that the conflict comes now, because that would mean I would be there fighting. I don't want this to happen when I'm gone, because that would mean that my kids will have to do the fighting. So if there's going to be a fight, then let the fight be now or very soon. And I'm sure you agree. Good to see you garden prepping. Were you here for a while, or um, I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Thomas Jefferson said that. Okay. Yeah, I think that the Woodlander, he made a very important video just a couple of days ago. And he basically said, this is it. Here it comes. And it's true. So you have to make a choice now. It has to do with your priorities more than anything else. And I'm not going to repeat myself and say that, well, go out and buy food and supplies and store and that. Well, you should, but I've said it a million times already. But I think that when you make plans now and when you prioritize, you have to ask yourself, or at least take into consideration, that society will look different. A lot more control, less freedom, less money to spend on things you like to spend money on. There won't be so much left after you've paid your bills, in other words. That will be the new normal. You remember they talked about the new normal during the plague? The new normal. And I must say this, some of us, we said a few words about that new normal. And at that point, when I started talking about that, I honestly thought they would delete my channel here on YouTube, my main channel. But they didn't, which is great. So the new normal. Well, now we are seeing the new normal, how it's going to look, or the shape of it at least. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So I'll just finish with a few words about realizing that you're the worst kind of human being there is. When I look in the mirror, I understand that what I'm looking at is the worst kind of human being there is. Now, I'm old-fashioned, so I don't care about people's this color of their skin or their ethnicity, or if it's a man or a woman. Like, it's the personality that matter to me. But apparently, we're supposed to judge people by the group they belong to. And I'm a white, straight, middle-aged man. And I understand that that's the worst thing there is. I'm to blame for most things that are bad. So I have all those components that seems to be bad, and I even drive a petrol car. And my question is this. Okay, so here I am. I'm a white. I don't view myself as white. I view myself as Norwegian, by the way. But anyway, I'm a white, straight, middle-aged man with a car, petrol car, and I'm supposed to change my ways. I'm supposed to tell the world that, well, the way I have been living, it's been wrong. And I've been causing a lot of problems, and I've been causing disasters, like climate change disasters. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that at all. I know that I have not been living in a wasteful manner. On the contrary, I drive a rather old car, actually, and I've looked into it, and it would pollute more if I now bought a new electric car. Yeah, it would. It's really easy to look into that. I don't buy a lot of stuff, and we in this household we have this idea that, well, we try to eat real food, but one, like in the weekends, like Saturday, we have some comfort food. That's how I grew up. That's normal. That was normal in the 70s and 80s. Again, we don't live wasteful lives. I don't drive around in my car for fun. Um, and yeah, so I'm not going to apologize to anyone. I'm not judgmental when it comes to how people who are different from me. I don't care if people are if they're sexuality thing. I don't care, and I don't find it very interesting. I don't think that's the most essential part of someone's personality. Uh, but apparently that makes me ignorant. But okay. So a lot of you guys, you are exactly the same. And why am I saying this? Why am I sitting here complaining? And apparently, you're not allowed to complain if you are white straight man, especially um, middle-aged as well. You're not allowed to complain. No, you. But here's the thing, So I'm awful. I'm bad. People like me are very awful, but they still want our tax money, and a lot of it. So big question is, and this ties into going off grid, is if I'm called all sorts of nasty words and I'm so bad, why would I sit here and be part of this and pay my taxes to the people who think that I'm an awful man just for existing? Why would I do that? I will not do that. That would be crazy, So, of course, going off grid as soon as possible. And that has to do with, crafting a life that is more independent of the system. So if I'm so awful and they don't want me here, they just want me here for the tax money, then I think that my answer is no, thank you very much. It's not for me, you know. So so let's see what's going on here. Yeah, Soul Sister Sam 7 says, really good point. I hope it was me you referred to. But I'll assume it was, and I will thank you for that. Let's see here. Okay. So exactly. If the system doesn't want or support you, why on earth should you want or support that system? Exactly. Let's see here. Yeah, I have to say this. Well, I make jokes sometimes here, and I made a joke in another live stream because people got into the gun issue. There are quite a few myths about guns in Europe, especially coming from if you come from the USA. And I said I replied to a question that no, there are no guns here. They were all taken away from us because we don't have a Second Amendment. So we were disarmed, and there are 11 guns in Europe in the museum. We pay money to go and watch the guns there. That was a joke. It was a joke. Okay. Um, but not everyone got that joke. So I will. Yes, certainly. Now it goes. Oops. Now I need to. There it is. Aquadrop 61 says the USA has been told lies about what is going on around the world. Yes, you have. um, and I I see it all the time, and I hear it all the time. There was a video yesterday I was watching, and someone there said that in Norway you're arrested if you say that a man who as you know the trans thing over to woman. I don't know all the terms. I'm sorry, but if you call him a man, then you're put in jail in Norway. No, that's not true. Okay, that's not true. But it goes the other way as well. And my knowledge of both Canada and the USA is probably not. Um, it could be better. It could be better. I would not be able to place all the states on the map actually. Um, I apologize for that. I think it goes both ways. Um, no, it's not true. The story is that there was a feminist who was in an argument with some of these crazy. I'm not calling all trans people crazy. I'm not saying that at all. But the on the barricades, we want to change society. Trans people, those people, and there wasn't. They were arguing apparently, and some exchange of words there, and so the police they asked her, the feminist, to come in for a meeting at the police station, and now if you ask me, they should not have done that. That was wrong. um, I don't know what happened there after that, but I don't think anyone has been arrested for it. On the contrary, there was a recent. They went through the laws in Norway concerning all of these things like racism and so on, and they did that to clarify what is legal and what is not legal. So it's perfectly legal in Norway to say that, for instance, this is just an example. For instance, an ethnic group is stupid, for example. That's perfectly legal. You can write that in social media and so on, and you can go on and on with that. That's legal. It's not legal to attack someone, and because there have been some cases where someone has been attacked just because of the color of their skin. Goes both ways actually. And when they shout words that kind of gives the motivation for the attack away, then the racism paragraph is applied. So I just wanted to clarify that because there's a lot of people misunderstand a lot, but anyway, let's see here. I'm going to show you my axe. My son gave me an axe for my 50th birthday, which was just a few days ago. So it's a 900 gram Outdoor axe head. It's a longer handle, and I got the sheath from what's it called? Prometheus Bushcraft Equipment. Now they sent me the collar for free. Yeah. Now this is wet now because it was so tight. So I had to put it in some water to make it fit. Yeah. So I got an axe for birthday, which is going to be needed. No, I didn't really need an axe. I have many axes. There's another one. Yeah. This is the Hultsbruk. It's this is a Hultafors. This is Hultsbruk. Yeah. Okay. We won't get into the axes now. Anyway, it's good to have an axe or several now because we're going to use the wood stove through winter. We have sort of almost started doing that already. It's much cheaper than electric power, and I think that here's what I think. Okay, you will know. You will know when it's time to get out of the city when you're not allowed to use your wood stove. Okay, you probably should have gotten out of the city before that, but just saying, you know. But we'll the axe dad jokes. Well, yeah, it's a Viking accent I have. And why do we have a sheath on the axe head? Because we don't want any accidents. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. And now it's too late to ask me a question because I'm ending the live stream. Okay. It was good to see so many people here. Take care. And if you heard some strange sounds during the live stream, that was not me, but one of the dogs over here sleeping. Okay. I'll see you in the next next live stream, hopefully. And do check out the videos on my main channel. The main channel is struggling a little bit at the moment, so if you have a few minutes to spare, go over there and maybe have a look at some of the videos. It's linked in the description to this live stream.